Hi, it is me, Drew, or Deep Thought to those people that really want to use a nickname. Let's see, what am I going to talk about today? I was online the other day, and this lady posted some stuff about some internal conflicts. I'm not going to name names, but it was really cool, and then I gave her some advice to her. And the problem with giving out advice on this level is that, and especially when you're on an online forum or Facebook or group or something like that, is that you're kind of limited to what you're able to type. And so I wanted to just sort of expand on it, talk about it, and expand on it in this segment while I'm driving, just because it's fun to record while I'm driving. And so I wanted to sort of start talking on that and expand on it a little bit. One of the things that was happening for her is that, you know, we've all got this idea of what we should be in our heads. Now, as with anything, you know, we're taught via society, not only society, but our commercials and all of that stuff, what we should look like, what we should act like, what we should be like. We're taught by our religions, or even people that aren't religious are affected by religious ideas, puritanical shit, to say. And so we've got all of this stuff that we're affected by. So we build this sort of structure of what we think is moral, what we think is right or wrong, and then we build this utopia in our heads of what it is we should be like as people. And so therefore, we've got this idea, or this high expectation of who we are, and who we should be in accordance to all of this taught stuff, all of this learned stuff, all of this behavioral stuff that we pick up as we're growing up. And so we keep comparing ourselves to this, and of course, because we have this high expectation of ourselves, we keep falling short. And it's not anything that we're doing other than we're human, and the expectations that we have are way too high, absolutely just way out there. And then we compare ourselves to them, and we crash. But when you crash enough, you try and deny that you are the negative or the antithesis of your expectation. And then we hide it, and we pretend like we are, right? I've run into lots of people that say that they're really good people, and they always care about other people and all of that stuff, and yet their actions dictate that they don't, and they're not. Right? Their actions say that they aren't caring, or that they are more in it for themselves, and they're just saying that they're caring. The truth is, though, they believe that they are, because they've lied to themselves so much about this to make themselves feel better, because they're not comparing into their utopian idea. It's not happening for them. So they lie to themselves, and they convince themselves that they are. And they do actions that make them think that they're doing those things, and then completely emotionally turn it around and come from a place of absolute non-integrity in regards to it. So, there's that. And then that's the ego lying to ourselves so that we can feel better. Because once you stop not feeling good... Okay, so let me clarify that. Once you don't feel good for a long period of time, your ego, or there's a part of you that says, I need to feel good. Well, the only way to feel good is to convince yourself that you're doing good, or you're living up to some part of that utopian ideal. And so you convince yourself, or you do some actions that make it look like. But the underlying thing is you're not really like that. But you've convinced yourself that you are, because you feel bad that you're like that. You feel bad that you're like that, and you feel bad because other people have pointed it out to you, or whatever, or they're judging you, and so you put on this face to be able to cope. So the problem with that, obviously, is that you are one way and you're trying to convince yourself and everybody else that you're not. Also, the problem with the whole utopian idea is that, one, it's not realistic. Two, in order to be able to do something like that, you need to accept who you are now. Now, this is, it sounds really good on tape, right? Because it does. It sounds fantastic. Oh, well, I can accept who I am now. But the truth is, you can't. We've been lying to ourselves for so long that trying to accept all of the things that we are. Let me give you an example. Saying that I am a good Samaritan. I'm a good Samaritan. I give $10 a week to whatever, okay? And you can give that $10 a week. But what is the underlying reason that you give the $10 a week, right? Is it because you need to be a good Samaritan? Because you need to impress people that you are a good Samaritan? Or is it because you truly want to give that money to those things? Now, if you're telling people that you're a good Samaritan, oh, look, I'm a good Samaritan, then you're not doing it for any reason but that ego stuff, or to prove something, or to prove that you are. And the truth is, you're not. You're not a good Samaritan for giving that $10. Now, mind you, the $10 will go to those kids or whatever, and they'll get the benefit, reap the benefit of your ego. But the truth is it ain't coming from your heart. It's, if it came from your heart, you wouldn't tell anybody about it anyway. You'd just send off the $10 a week, and it wouldn't matter. But so again, there's that underlying issue that's convincing us that we're doing it for noble purposes, right? As opposed to saying to yourself, at least to yourself, that I'm doing that because it makes me look good, and they won't be as apt to judge me, right? But I mean, most of that coming from that insecurity of saying I'm not that utopian ideal. So the trick is, when you say, how can you accept yourself for who you are? Take me, for instance, okay? I'm going to, of course, give examples of me. I've got a little paunch tummy here. See? Look at that. Okay? I got the paunch tummy. I'm sure that there's lots of things that I could do, quote unquote, to be able to move that and make me feel better about it. Or less judgmental on it. The truth is I'm lazy. And I don't really want to, I do a few things. I go out and play badminton, and so on and so forth. Not that I'm justifying anything, although I am. But the truth is I'm lazy, and I want it to be easy. And so in accepting the fact that I'm lazy, and I want it to be easy, I also accept the fact that I'm probably going to have a paunch, right? And that's a tough thing for most people to understand, or to even get or admit to themselves. It's like, oh, I'm lazy. Because it's not okay to be lazy. The society says it's not okay to be lazy. Society says that it is never. Got lots of room. Sorry. Driving. So society says that it's not okay. And what we've been taught, or our utopian idea, says it's not okay to be lazy. And so we judge ourselves for being lazy. We have people judge us for being lazy. I've certainly been judged many, many times for being lazy, of, well, why don't you get off your ass and go do that kind of thing, right? Because I don't want to get off my ass and go do that. And so everybody else gets offended. And the truth is who cares? If you're feeling guilty about it, then you're already offended. So you haven't accepted the fact that you're lazy, or I'm lazy. In this case, I'm not talking about you. I do accept the fact that I'm lazy. I do accept the fact that I'm going to have things that are going to Oh, look, there's a fair.
Yeah, Sanish Fair.
Yeah, Sanish Fair. And that it's going to have consequences. My laziness is going to have consequences. People are, there's going to be people out there that aren't going to like me because I'm lazy. Because, as far as I'm concerned, if everybody's fresh produce, we're going to have to stop on the way back.
Tomatoes.
Yeah, really. Or like real ones.
Yeah. Kind of like the whole why you being a DJ and not having a quote unquote real job.
Yes, I don't have a real job. People get upset about that.
Yes.
I don't know why. Anyway,
no comment.
But the thing being is, if you're angry about something, admit that you're angry about it. Admit that you're angry about it for petty reasons. Because the truth is we're petty. We are people and we are petty. We want what we want and we want it now. That's the way that we are. But to get past that, you must embrace that. And people go, wow, what do you mean? You have to be mucho selfish or something like that? Yes, actually you do. You have to delve in it enough to be able to accept what it is and all the reasons behind it. To be able to admit to yourself and maybe even others that there are reasons behind it. That the reasons are petty and they're stupid and they're childlike. That's what they are. We convince ourselves that they're not that, though. Oh no, I'll do this as this reason, and I'll do that as that reason. But, when you get right down to it, they're all petty and childlike. And until we actually start really admitting to ourselves that that is actually what's happening, then we're in denial of all of the things that are happening to us. The real things, I'm upset because I didn't get what I want is a really good one. And then when you start to understand that the only judgment that is being placed on it, lots of people place their judgments and what I call condemnations on your actions because they don't fit into what they want you to do for them. Or they want something out of you just as much as you want something out of them, right? We're all very self-centered when it comes to that. We want what we want, and we want it out of them. Now, my definition of love, you are not giving me what I think you should be giving me on the love level. And the truth is their definition of love may not even come close to yours. But no, we don't think about that. We only judge them or we condemn them because they're not reacting the way that we should. But the thing is it comes back on us. They're condemning us for doing the same things. Right? But when you understand that you can start accepting yourself and stop condemning yourself from that utopian ideal that you have of yourself and others. Because it's utopian. It is not real. It is not a real thing. You can say that it is something that I desire to move towards, okay? As opposed to something that I should be. It's never about should be. It's about the desire to move towards that thing. And the only way to get to those things is to be able to accept where you are now without condemning yourself from the basis of a utopian idea. This idea that, we're perfect, or we should be perfect. It's not happening. I don't even think it will happen. I'm on a road to mastery, and I've got a lot of things down, but I don't have mastery down. I'm not there. I may never get there, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with accepting the fact that I may never be my idea of perfect, right? I'm going to cry. I'm going to have to face things in myself that are unpleasant. my own utopian judgments that I have. I'm going to have to go through all of that. I may be doing it till the day I die. The truth is I surrender to that. I don't mind. I love the results of what I've done so far. It has not been an easy road, and I don't know anybody that's gone down this road that actually really is committed to this road, that has had this wonderful utopian time. You know, but anyway, I'm blathering off on a tangent here. So back to understanding that if you stop judging yourself or condemning yourself from your utopian idea, which is unrealistic, absolutely, understand what you are doing and stop condemning yourself for it. You're just doing it. So once you understand that you're doing it, you can weigh what it is that you would like to be doing instead, right? It's like, you know, I really don't want to, you know, I mean, here's an ideal. So I really want to love the world and everyone, right? Okay, there's a utopian ideal. Now, when you disseminate that, or you break it down into its little bits, it's way different than what it looks like as a whole ideal, right? First things first, you'd better start loving who you are. Well, how do you do that? You do that by letting go of your utopian idea of what you should be. Stop condemning yourself based on that ideal. Because you know what? I don't give a shit who you are. You can be the bitch queen from fucking hell. Oh, sorry. You can edit, put a bleep.
You can swear on YouTube.
You can be the bitch queen from hell. You can do really good works. You can do, you know, fabulous things. But the truth is, doesn't matter what it is. Find out what the underlying idea or the underlying thing that you really are, or where it's really coming from, and embrace it, accept it. You know, if you're coming from ego and you're coming from I just want that, like as some kind of like 5 or 6 year old does, you know, I want that, I'm just gonna spaz out because I know that it gets what I want. You know, start really looking at those things and start embracing the fact that that's the way you're doing it, right? Take a look at it. I mean, heck, come to me. I'll tell you exactly what it is that you're doing. You know, the thing is people don't want to hear it. And it's not coming from any condemnation point on me. We're all human. I do the exact same things. I come from a six-year-old attitude many times.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, my wife will tell you that I do. But I'm willing to embrace the fact that that's what I'm doing. Suffer through whatever judgments other people have on it. Walk through my own self-judgment based on my utopian ideals. And get to the other side of being able to accept what is really going on. And go, is that who I choose to be? And once I've got that down without the judgment, moving past the judgment, because you got to let go of the judgment in order to be, or the condemnation, in order to be cool with it. But you also have to just let it all go and just go, okay, this is the way I'm behaving, and this is what's happening. What do I choose to express? That's not a choice, because a lot of the times we're not even in choice when we're expressing those things. We don't even think about it. We just do it. It's some kind of behavior that's been programmed or that we've learned to use to cope with stuff, whatever. It is neither here nor there, nor is it worth your condemnation or judgment on, you know? Because to condemn yourself like that is just holding yourself back. It's just, you know, now you're beating yourself up for something and or trying to avoid looking at it. You know, that's not the case. We shouldn't be doing that. So, kind of to sum this up, we've got this utopian idea that we compare ourselves and everybody else to. Ourselves mostly. and everybody else. And then we treat everybody, and then we condemn these other people as well as ourselves for not fitting into this utopian idea. Okay? Now, I'm not talking about the condemnation of others. I'm talking mostly about the condemnation of ourselves. But it is a truth that if we are condemning ourselves that way, that we condemn others, right? And a lot of the times, we're condemning others for things that we do all the time. You know, oh, well, that guy is just, oh, I hate those jaywalkers. You know, I mean, it's like, I jaywalk. But I catch myself doing that. You know? Oh, I hate those jaywalkers. Well, the truth is the jaywalkers just getting in my way, that's all. And so, therefore, I'm condemning these guys based on some utopian idea that I don't even follow. Anyway, so we tend to do that. We condemn ourselves, we condemn other people. The way to get around this is to be able to accept who we are, not who we wish we were, you know, not anything like that. I mean, counselors will start to tell you, or at least give you an idea of who you are, really, and what the real issues are, because a lot of the times we can't even see them when we're right there. You know, you have to, of course, find somebody that you can trust that is not going to be able to condemn you on that level. I mean, I'm one of the very few people that I know that works that way. That's just like, I don't care what it is, you know, whether it's you got angry because you were being 6 and you just wanted your cookie, or if you got angry because you thought you were being justified because you should have gotten this and you didn't get this, you know, I don't care. It's that you understand where it's coming from is the important part. That you can say, that's where it's coming from. And you can say, okay, do I choose to be that consciously? Or do I choose to be something different? Because when you accept what it is that's going on without the judgment, without the condemnation, you can see it clearly for the first time, without your emotions getting involved, without you having to defend yourself on an emotional level from yourself. And you can say, this is what I'm doing. I choose not to do that. And so therefore, I am going to do this behavior. Not saying that I won't do that behavior again, because remember that when you're programmed with something, it's really tough to get out of a habit, because it becomes a habit, right? But the next time you see it, you go, oh, there it is again, without the condemnation, without the judgment. And you go, there it is again. Then you can say to the person, I am so sorry this is happening, because this is what's happening and this is the way I'm reacting, and I'm sorry, and it's not your fault, right? Because then you accept responsibility for it. And then it's not placed on everybody else as if it's their fault, and they don't feel like it's their fault, because you can actually come back and apologize, because there's no ego around it. It's just what it is. And you embracing that enables you to change. And not only does it enable you to change your view of yourself, but it enables you to change your view of everybody else around you. It is an amazing thing. Fairly difficult, because most people have their egos so entrenched in what they think that they should be, that to let that go means to let their whole identity go. And, you know, people are pretty unwilling to do that. Hey, if you're committed to this space and this growth and this understanding of being able to have love for everybody and all of that stuff, this is where we've got to start. It is not some utopian place of love all, because you're not going to let it go until you embrace it, until you let go of your own condemnations on yourself and what you do, and be able to choose to change those things from a standpoint of not needing to change them, which is a fear-based reality, to choosing to change them, which comes from a little bit more of a love-based reality. And that's my thing for today.